In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my very best predictions from this coming weekend's EPL and La Liga action. So if you want to improve your chances of winning some extra dinero or move up in the table in your fantasy football league, then this video is for you. Welcome to Panenka Predictions. I'm very excited to be doing this video for you because this weekend there are some huge games in England and in Spain that could seriously affect the title chase and the run-in for those precious top 4 Champions League spots. Before we kick off our predictions, please do me a quick favor of giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel, and I promise to keep doing my very best to share with you my most accurate and profitable footballing predictions. Thank you all very much, and muchísimas gracias. Let's get straight into it now, and our first game, it's a big one. It's the Manchester derby, where Manchester United are hosting their much higher up the table city rivals, Manchester City. Manchester United come into this game on the back of 3 successive draws in the Premier League, which doesn't sound like the worst run of results, to be fair. But when you consider that 2 of the 3 teams they drew against are, in fact, the bottom 2 teams in the league, and that third team is in 16th place, it paints quite a different picture. So much so that they said adios to ex-manager Ruben Amorim, and they will now play this game with an interim coach in charge until they find their next potential manager. They haven't brought in any new players over the transfer window, but both Brian Mbeumo and Nusai Mazraoui are back from the African Cup, and they will add some much-needed extra quality to the United side. Manchester City, as I'm sure you all already know, brought in Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth to bolster their attack, and no doubt he enjoyed his debut last week, getting on the score sheet in a 10-1 drubbing of Exeter City in the FA Cup. In the Premier League, however, City have also been on a run of 3 consecutive draws, however, against much better sides in Sunderland, Chelsea, and Brighton most recently. These results haven't been fully capitalised on by Arsenal, who still remain a very catchable 6 points ahead of City, but lose any more games, and City may in fact be creating a mountain for themselves too hard to climb. A draw would seem like the most likely result from this game, given both their recent results. However, I feel that City do have the greater quality, and they've got that X factor in their players that can win them the game. So I'm leaning towards the Sky Blues coming away with the 3 points in this game. I think they will need more than 1 goal to get the 3 points, however. So for my prediction for this Manchester derby, my safest prediction is that Manchester City will score 2 or more goals away against United. And I'm predicting a 2-1 or maybe a 3-1 win for the visitors in this game. What is your prediction for the Manchester derby this weekend? Come on, all you red or blue Manchester supporters, let's hear your thoughts on this crucial game down in the comments. Next up, we have Chelsea taking on Brentford at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's recent Premier League run has seen them drawn 3, win 1, and lose 1 of the last 5 games, lose their manager and their spot in the top 4 as they now sit down in 8th place on the table. That being said, the table, it's so very tight right now.
Title of your sex tape.
That between 5th and 14th place, there's only 6 points difference. One of the teams that has jumped above Chelsea and is on a much better run of form right now is their opponents this weekend, Brentford. Brentford come into this game winning 4 out of their last 5 games and managing a draw in the other game to move up to 5th on the table with 33 points in total. They have a few key players in really good form right now, Brentford, such as Kevin Schade, who bagged a hat-trick a few weeks ago against Bournemouth, and of course their striker Igor Thiago, whose 5 goals in the last 2 games helped them secure maximum points against both Everton and Sunderland. Both these teams really do have some world-class attackers, and both teams will be confident that they can take all 3 points from this game. Chelsea to climb back into the top 4 and boost their fans' morale in their home stadium, and Brentford, well, because they're playing so good right now, and they've actually beaten Chelsea in Stamford Bridge on 2 of the last 3 occasions. I'm finding it hard to split these 2 teams right now, so I think this game is probably likely to end up in a draw. However, for my prediction, I think it's a much safer option that both teams will score. Does anyone out there have the courage to back Brentford to get the win in this game? The form book says they can, but what do you say? Let me know your predictions for Chelsea against Brentford down in the comments. Leeds United take on Fulham at Ellen Road this weekend in a game that sees both teams in good form, scoring consistently, and both teams capable of claiming the 3 points in this game. Prior to last round's 4-3 loss against Newcastle, Leeds were on a run of 7 games unbeaten in the league, and they didn't deserve to lose that match against Newcastle, in my humble opinion. Leeds manager Daniel Farke has got them playing in a 3-5-2 formation that is keeping games very tight in the back and in midfield, Newcastle game aside, and with both Aronson and Calvert-Lewin in form and scoring goals up front, I think Leeds may have finally found the formula that keeps them up in the Premier League this season. They're 8 points above 18th place West Ham right now, and 3 points here could prove crucial. Fulham are currently 9th on the table with 33 points to their name, and the 3 points for them here could move them up to 5th place if results go their way. They're unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League games, beating West Ham, Nottingham and Chelsea, and drawing against Liverpool at home and Crystal Palace away. And Fulham has actually beaten Leeds in their last 4 head-to-head matches, and I'm really hoping they don't make it number 5 this time around. Both teams have strong cases for getting a positive result out of this game, so it makes picking a winner a bit trickier for me. However, I think it does make perfect sense, and this will be my prediction for this game. Both teams will score. Next up, we have Liverpool hosting second from bottom, Burnley. Now, this is going to be one of the sitters of the upcoming EPL round. The home team are a massive 22 points ahead of this weekend's visitors, and on top of that, Liverpool have not tasted defeat in the league right now in their last 9 games. This return to form has seen them climb steadily back into contention for a Champions League spot for next season, as they still are what I think is an unassailable 14 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Mo Salah is still away playing in the African Cup, but his absence won't be noticed so much thanks to the form of players like Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, and most importantly, Ugo Ekitike up front. With a handful of teams hot on their heels for that coveted 4th place spot, Liverpool need to start getting the 3 points on the board again. Their last 3 games have all ended in draws, and if this one does as well, then they might find themselves back down around the 6 or 7 spot on the table come Monday morning. Burnley currently sits second from bottom and a significant 8 points away from 17th place Nottingham Forest. And despite their current place in the league, they aren't the easiest of the teams to beat. No teams really are at this level. They've managed 3 draws in their last 5 games, including a 2-2 draw with Man U in the last round, and they lost to both Brighton and Newcastle in succession before that. They will definitely come into this game as the underdogs, as they do with most of their games, to be fair, which simply means that they can play like they've got nothing to lose. Except for this game, of course, and I'm predicting that that will be the case. But I won't be surprised if they do get a goal in this game. So for my prediction between Liverpool and Burnley, I'm going to go for a Liverpool home win with over 1.5 goals in the game. Nottingham Forest hosts Arsenal this weekend and will be hoping to not only do the title-chasing teams a favour, but more importantly, steal some very important points to help them move away from the relegation zone. They are only 7 precarious points above West Ham in the relegation zone and will need a quick turnaround in form to guarantee their Premier League safety for another season. They managed their only win in their last 5 games, crucially against West Ham in the last round, thanks to a 90-minute penalty converted by Gibbs-White. They'll be hoping Chris Wood can make a speedy recovery from injury, or a miracle from Igor Jesus that is, if they are to come away with any points in this game. Arsenal still hold a 6-point lead at the top of the table over Manchester City, and they'll be hoping to extend that lead this weekend after also dropping points in the last round against Liverpool. Prior to that draw, Arsenal had won 5 in a row, and as they come into this game with pretty much their full squad available, I very much like their chances of taking the 3 points from this one as well. I mean, just look at the players that they've got in their midfield and their front line at the moment. It's easy to see why Arsenal are playing so well and playing some really nice football as well when you've got players like Marino, Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli, Trossard, or Eze to choose from. So this prediction for me is a pretty straightforward one, and I'm just going to take Arsenal to get the away win here with over 1.5 goals in this game. Bottom of the table, Wolverhampton take on Newcastle this weekend in a game that I think is going to produce quite a few goals. Wolves aren't going down without a fight and will be especially confident coming into this game after getting their first win of the campaign at home 2 rounds ago when they smashed West Ham 3-0. Then they drew away to Everton the game after that, and of course their 6-1 drubbing of Shrewsbury Town in the FA Cup wouldn't have harmed their egos one little bit either. They'll still need more than a miracle if they're to survive this season, but 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 4 games is a pretty decent one, and I for one will be hoping they can cause a few more upsets this season. And maybe beating Newcastle might just be the first of many to come. Newcastle are a team loaded with quality players and have the ability to hold their own against pretty much any team in the league right now, but they just keep seeming to find a way to make it hard for themselves. They were very lucky to get the 3 points off Leeds at home last weekend. They beat Burnley and Crystal Palace before that as well, and yet in between all those victories, they played 2 quite poor games, losing away to bitter rival Sunderland and a very average Manchester United as well. On paper, they are the firm favourites to win this game, and they probably will win in the end. I can just see them shooting themselves in the foot at some point and making it a lot harder than it should be. So for my prediction between Wolves and Newcastle United, I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals to be scored in this game. In Spain this weekend, we have Real Madrid taking on Levante in a home game where the 3 points should really be pretty comfortable for a team that seems to be playing better over the past few games without Kylian Mbappe. They're still 4 points behind Barcelona in the league and cannot afford any more slip-ups, especially against the teams in the bottom half of the table. So I think this game is probably the safest home banker of the entire European round this weekend. Real Madrid demolished a very good Betis in their last home game by 5-1, with Gonzalo Garcia scoring an impressive hat-trick in that game. And if they continue that kind of form in this game, well, watch out Levante. You might be finding it very hard to levantarse after this one. Levante are currently second from bottom and 6 points behind Mallorca, who occupy 17th place in the Liga. They did manage a surprise 3-0 win against Sevilla away in their last game, and that followed a respectable 1-1 draw with Sociedad the round before that. So you never know in football, or do you? I personally think Madrid are going to smash Levante from pillar to post in this game, with or without Mbappe. So for my prediction, it's a straightforward one. I'm going for Real Madrid home win with over 2.5 goals in this game. Amigos, that's all my predictions for this weekend's footballing action. I hope it helps you with your predictions. And if you like this video and don't want to miss out on any upcoming videos, then make sure you subscribe to Panenka Predictions, and I'll do my best every weekend to give you the most accurate footballing predictions I can. If you want further insights into any of these games and a whole lot more great value backing options for each of the games, then come and join us inside the VIPP on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Panenka Predictions, and I'll share with you my insiders only edition of my top 5 games and predictions every weekend. Enjoy the football, everyone. Let me know your tips and predictions down in the comments, and let's get some banter started, especially between the Man U and ManCity supporters, and as always, the Real Madrid and Barca fans as well, especially after last weekend's Super Cup final win again for Barcelona. I'll see you all again next week, everyone. Hasta la semana que viene, amigos, y mucha suerte con todo. Bye for now, everyone.